Dobar dan i dobrodošli u epizodu podcasta BITI ŽENA koji Weiles Media grupacija realizuje u saradnji sa nemačkom fondacijom Konrad Adenauer i holandskom fondacijom Eduardo Frey. U ovom podcastu govorit ćemo o problemima, izazovima, uspesima, ali i mnogim drugim situacijama u kojima se žene danas u društvu nalaze, a moja današnja gošća jeste Willemien Koning, koja je članica međunarodnog odeljenja organizacije žena, takođe političarka na regionalnom nivou iste ove organizacije, ali i dugogodišnja predsjednica organizacije žena poljoprivrednica za Holandiju i Evropu. Hello, Willemien. Thank you so much for coming here. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to be here.
Is it your first time in Belgrade?
Yes, it's my first time.
How do you like it, actually?
Well, I like the city very much. Nice buildings, nice people, nice food.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad. Willemien, I will actually tell that today it's really important for women to have their own voice and to look up to real role models. So can you tell me, how did your engagement in a women's rights begin?
Yes, it all started when someone of the farmers' organization on local level asked me to be board member of the farmers' organization. And I said yes, and I did that. And I was the only woman within the board. And I did that for a few years. And I found out that the position of women on the farm was very bad. So we worked on to have a better position of the farmers, but the women were forgotten. So then I started to work on fostering the position of women on the farms and women in rural areas. And first I did it on local level, and then I did it on national level in the Netherlands. From 2014 till 2020, I was the chair of the women farmers in the Netherlands. And then also on the level of European Union, within Copa-Cogeca, I was the chair of all women farmers in Europe. So that's how it started. And then I became also active in politics, and also not only on the local level, but also working on the position of women and on gender equality and everything what has to do with the position of women.
Okay, but what is actually the biggest problem for women when it comes to their rights in Netherlands at all?
During the years it's different from one year to another, but at this moment, one of the biggest problems in the Netherlands, and that's also for women and for men, is to find a house they can afford. So we have a lack of houses. So when young women wants to start her family, she needs a house, and that's the nowadays
the biggest problem.
Yeah, but another problem is the work-life balance. We have women who work part-time and a lot of women who work full-time. But when you have a family, having a baby, you need also to do the work in house and take care of baby and sometimes of elderly people. And we see that women spend 20 hours a week on doing the household and taking care of other people, and men only 10 hours. So it's not equally shared. So women sometimes have a double burden to do the work outside and do the work in household. So the work-life balance is also a problem to make it work in the way that you can keep on going on working and doing good for your family. Okay. And the third thing I want to mention is there still is a glass ceiling when women want to have a career and want to step up in the organization. Well, it still is more difficult for women to do it as it is for men.
Why?
Yes, that's always difficult to find out. I think it has two sides. On one side, the man has to see women also as leaders and give them the chance to be leaders and to go up in their career. And the women has to step up and do it. They have to got the power to go on and do it.
Yeah, I understand. So, as you told me, you are a board member of Christian Democratic Appeal. You own and manage a family farm, and you were nominated for UN Women's Conference 2018, if I'm right. Yeah, where you spoke about the role of women in agriculture. How to say sector. So can you tell me what do you consider like your greatest success until now?
Well, I think both on a national level and also for the United Nations, it's very important that women also have access to land. We see that a lot of ownership of land and buildings and companies is in the hands of men. In the Netherlands, only 10% of the land is in the hands of women and 90% is in the hands of men.
And when you're a big problem, actually.
Yeah, and in other countries it's also that way. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes we see that women own 30% of land and companies, but mostly not more than that.
Yeah.
And when you are not an owner, you don't have the decision-making power. So I try to work on that people are aware of the power if you own something. And then you have more decision-making power.
Yeah.
So that's one of the points I'm working, and I see it helps, and women step up and see that they need to be owners, and they try to be owners, and also the access to finance, and it has a link with ownership. So access to finance is more difficult for women than it is for men. So the banks need to see that and need also give possibility to women to have access to finance and to buy houses, buy land and be owners.
How is the situation in the companies in Netherlands with the women's and the men's? Is it equal or it's not?
Well, when we look to agriculture companies, I know the most about that, we see that 70% of women on farms are working on the farm also. And half of them have also a job outside, so they do both, work outside in a job and work on the farms. And almost 70% also is taking also decisions together with husband mostly. But when it comes to ownership, well, there you have the problem.
Yeah.
So we work on that. But farming cannot do without women. Women play a big role in farming and play a big role in food production. That's all over the world, also in developing countries.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you that how important is women's role in agriculture in your country, and what are the biggest problems you're facing with?
So I think women's role is very important. Also, when women have a job outside, they also support the husband and do things like preparing food or doing the washing and doing the administration. And sometimes they say, well, I'm doing nothing, but they do a lot, even if they work outside the farm. And a lot of women also work the whole day on the farm, so their impact is more. And I see more and more women taking over the farm from the parents, that the woman really is the boss. So that's coming up more and more.
Okay, and how you decided to have your own farm, actually?
Well, I took it over together with my husband from my parents. So we decided that because farming is just a way of life. You have to like it or you like it not. And I like to be a farmer and to take care of the cows and to produce the food, which is very important for the whole society.
Yeah, it's really interesting that on one side you have a farm, you know, with your family and everything, and on the other side you are woman in politics. So it's really interesting. So can you tell me from your point of view, from your experience, how it looks to be a woman in politics today?
Yeah, in politics, I became a politician because they asked me to be first in local politics, and then I was there for 9 years. And well, the most important thing to do it was for me to have a good policy, also for women, but also for farmers, and also to support democracy. Mm-hmm. That the people in the village can have their voice and say what they want of their own in the democracy through the parties we have. And well, I want to support it and being part of it. But sometimes it is difficult because you have an idea, you have a plan, and you have to, in democracy you have more parties, so you have to get the majority of the votes to arrange something. And sometimes it's okay and it goes on, but sometimes not, and then you're disappointed. Dus in politics, it's always how you go on with disappointment and still go on.
Yeah.
And explain to the people, first explain your ideas and they can vote, but sometimes when you're disappointed, explain to the people why you didn't reach the goal.
Yeah, okay. How do you support women in rural areas?
Well, first of all, we worked on social services. That women in a rural area has the same social services as women in the city, like childcare, elderly care. Because when there's no childcare, a woman in a rural area cannot not have a job. So she cannot earn her own money. So it's very important to have childcare and to have doctors and health services in rural areas. And we also work on the accessibility. For instance, for online, for the internet, but also in practice, when there are buses and local transport, that women can reach the outside world and work maybe from home and have the good internet.
So can you tell me, because of your current political situation in your country, how much more difficult you think that women's fight for their rights will be?
I think it will stay probably the same as it is now. But looking to the future, we have to work on different items. We have to work on the same salary that women pay the same as men. We have to work on the aspect of career, that women can have the same career as men.
Those are the biggest question, actually, when it comes to rights of women, yeah?
Yeah, and also on the same decision-making level in all positions. And also to fight against the violence on women. It's also the case. We see that in the Netherlands also more and more women are being murdered, also within relationships. So that's starting to be a problem.
We have the same problem in Serbia. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pity. So we have to work on that and to give them more security and safe houses. So we have a lot of challenges to work on.
Yeah, a lot of things to do.
But it's we try to do it in politics, but also in society. The people in society need to take care of each other, and it's not only the government, but also the society himself.
Is that possible in Netherlands? Because in Serbia it's quite difficult to do that, actually.
Yeah, we think we have responsibility. We have shared responsibility. The government cannot have all the responsibility, but also the people themselves and the society and people looking after each other. So shared responsibility.
So Willemien, I have to ask you how you got your balance between a private and your professional business life. Is that possible at all?
Yeah, that's also a big challenge.
Yeah.
Like every woman
I can imagine.
work has the same. But Well, it's important that your husband and your family, your children stand behind you and give you the space to work outside and to do these things, and give you the space to do the work in politics, because that's extra heavy, extra burden, because all the people look at you, and it also affects on your family members. So you need the support of your family, and on the other hand, you manage your agenda very well. And you choose your priorities, what's the most important to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the balance you will search for. Yeah, and on our farm, my husband and my children do a lot of work, and mostly in the weekends and on holidays I do more work on the farm or administration on the farm. But during the week I don't work many hours on the farm. Then I'm mostly away for politics and for other things for my job.
Okay, but which side do you like more? Be a farmer and have a farm, or be a woman in politics?
I like to do it both.
Okay.
If I only was in politics, I think I won't be happy. And if I only was a farmer, I won't be happy either. It's just the combination of the things, and that you can work on growing a better world together, that you can work on it and doing from your passion inside to help and help the people and do steps in politics to make a better world.
Thank you so much, Willemien. Thank you so much. It was my honor, definitely. Thank you for being my guest.
Yeah, thank you.
Hvala vam puno što ste nas gledali, a uskoro se vidimo i sa novom epizodom i novim gošćama koje će sigurno odgovoriti na mnoga pitanja koje interesuju sve žene. Prijetno!